welcome to IttocStories. Today is the continuation of Jilbuma's journey through Sanctuary. We are now on to Nightmare. What will this journey entail for Jilbuma? Can the memories of the past guide her through this trial, or will they be the very thing that brings her downfall? Find out in today's story. The trials of this new land have brought me a sense of foreboding. That something is wrong with the world. Something is wrong with me. Dreams have taken me of late. Even Jamali is setting a further distance. The shadow of my heart is growing. The very land seems to suck the virtue from my soul, pleasure from my bones, the elation from my head. Then the nightmares were broken by a voice. Andariel spoke of a new power rising in Sanctuary. He's almost in a panic. The gates of heaven have been breached. A new weapon emerges from the sacrifices of the angels. It has brought new cause to this war, and now the rules have changed. The angels have entered Sanctuary. I was told to go to the depraved monastery at the edge of the Teom Highlands. The very citadel of Andariel herself. Deep in those dungeons, hidden in a secret dungeon, is a captured angel. A spy who had infiltrated Andariel's ranks. He has information and is capable of shifting the tide of this war. Until I find this angel, I cannot know these are not dreams, but visions. An Nephilim blood calling out to the light. My heart denies it. The only thing that gives me pleasure is the slaughter. I'm losing myself in the fray. The presence is seeping into my mind, holy and filled with light, a power that almost brings me to my knees. Without thought, my body moves on its own. His voice like 1,000 compliments. He tells me his name is Cassiel. As he speaks, a serenity washes into my soul, cleanses it. I feel a shade lift from my vision, as though there had been a filter of darkness across the world. It was almost too bright to handle now. This is what I was missing. A guiding ideal, that the world can be repaired. The good can triumph, that my struggle does matter. He tells me of the Soulstones, weapons of the high heavens made to contain the prime evils, as well as the lesser stones that were created to contain lesser demons. The hordes of hell have taken sacred information from heaven and are in the process of developing a new Soulstone, an Ebonheart. A vessel to contain an angel. He sends me to the Forgotten Tower to confront the Countess. Defeat the Countess and interrogate her soul. Hell has tasked her with gathering the blood of the innocent. First ingredient to the Ebonstone. The blood of 10,000 victims, chosen by the pureness of their heart, most young. A wine cellar of blood vials preserved and stockpiled for the next step. The Countess tells me of sacred scrolls hidden in magical chests. Scattered across Sanctuary, guarded by elites and uniques, these chests contain the knowledge of heaven. They are sealed. The power of light will destroy the demons, so they must keep it hidden. Once the primevals are free, they will gather the scrolls, and with that knowledge on how to create a Soulstone, they will invert it into an Ebonheart.
I can't carry.
Returning to the rogue encampment with the scroll, I speak to Cain. Upon seeing the writing on the scroll, his eyes bulge. He recognizes it. Snatching the scroll carefully from me, he brings it closer to his face. Yes, this is angelic writing, he tells me. It speaks of sacrifice and a prison for the unworthy. Prison. Pauses for a long moment before lowering the scroll and looking into my eyes with a look of horror and terror I've never seen in this ever-enduring soul. Even in Tristram, Jamali says he had not seen Cain so distraught. If the powers of hell gained the ability to seal angels, this war would be all but over. Cain tells me to seek out Gide. He was once a prisoner of the Countess. He may have some insight into the next step. Gide's normally charming smile fades as the memory of those fateful years return. He holds his hands to his lower right side and stiffens with a grunt as if prodding a foul wound. The body never truly heals. He speaks of the horror and death he saw, but also what he overheard. He kept his head on straight and gained as much knowledge as he could until one day a raid from the rogues. Aid of their power tried to defeat the Countess. They saved many lives, but lost many more. They returned Gide to the encampment, and slowly over time, he regained his sanity, and eventually became a productive member of their society. So he said, "Go to the barracks in the monastery. There you will find the smith. Return with the hammer from his forge. I will prepare what is needed on my end." He calls me young champion. Says he can feel the fate of Sanctuary weighing on my shoulders. Into this pit of disdain we tread. The old forge is burned out, but the smell of acrid smoke and the heat of endless fires still lingers in the air. Forces of evil cling together, festering in every room, around every corner. From the mess hall to the canteen to the showers and bedrolls. This place once housed what could have been a great army. Now only demons and undead call it home. Me and Jamali, with my shadow at my side, steel in our hands, stone in our hearts, wills of fortitude and minds set on one goal, we delve deeper into this bracken hole of darkness. This twisted form lurks. The ground almost shakes with its steps. Loud and ferocious it charges. Mighty is my blade as it strikes true upon this foe. Jamali holds him at length with his spear while I burst forward, slicing through his defenses and pummeling his core. Blood the color of soiled water. The smell even worse. It splashes across the floor, slicking it as I dance behind the beast and slice more into its flesh. Screams and flails are no match for my practiced moves. I dodge and charge Tiger Strike. The beast crumbles to the floor before my foot even strikes it. Blood and ichor gurgling from its mouth as it spasms and death throes. The fight had dragged us into the torchlit room. In the corner, a crafting stand. Upon it, a hammer that seemed to be shielded in darkness, as if the very light shied away from its presence. I lifted it from the base, and a surge of horror covers my being. I almost drop the hammer, but take control of myself.
Yes?
I will not let evil control me. I grip tighter,
Yes?
raising it over my head as I yell. Jamali gives me that look, that I'm falling into something he cannot follow. I shake my head of the anger and hatred. Calm, controlled breath brings me back to reality. I can feel every day the world pressing down harder on my soul. The cloak of shadows across my vision seems to dim the very world. Back to the encampment. But Geed is not in sight. Kane tells me he is headed for the cellar in preparation for the next step. He said meet him at the tower. Kane also said he would need Jamali for the instructions that Geed had left for Kane about the next step. So I left Jamali behind and trekked to the tower. Geed is waiting for me at the tower entrance. I show him the hammer, and his face dips solemn. He explains that I must take the vials of blood from the cellar, place them inside the pentagrams of flame. Using the hammer to smash the vials inside the flames will coagulate and harden the blood into blood essence. Once this has been done, with 5 vials, take them and use the Heraldric cube. Then he shooed me off and said return once I had the next product. His words and mannerisms felt out of place, but I chalked it up to him being back where the memories of those foul days would be within sight. It is strange, as if the hordes of hell want me to complete this task. It is as though they cleared the very tower just to give me free reign. I'm starting to get the feeling something is wrong with all of this. These thoughts strike me far too late. As I pull the Soulstone from the Heraldric cube, my face goes pale. My hands begin to shake and my vision blurs and darkens. My muscles spasm and my hand quakes. I scream and cry out. There's no one to hear. I tremble as the realization of what is about to happen hits me. I clutched the Soulstone in my hand, the point aimed at my forehead. With a strength I did not know I had, my arm thrust the stone into my skull. If not all of Sanctuary heard my screams, I would be surprised. And laughter shakes my core. It feels as though my very soul is being shredded and remade. I struggle and climb to the top of the tower, and Geed is nowhere in sight. I stumble into the open and call out, my head pounding as I try to control myself. I fall to my knees. I cannot return to the encampment like this. Thought strikes me. Cassiel, I can return to the angel. He might know what to do. I cannot risk the innocent. I have become corrupted. Stumbling through endless shadows. Feels like days as I travel to the jail. The only thing keeping me going. If this can be fixed, an angel is my only hope. Cassiel gives me a grim look and places his hand upon my head. The light of the high heavens sinks deep into me. Feel my mind coming back. My head clearing of the screams and the fire and the pain. I fall to my knees, tears in my eyes, begging and thanking him for showing me the light. He tells me that this is all he can do. The rest is up to me. I've been given the weapon to fight the inner darkness. Now, all that can truly stop it is cleansing this world of corruption and evil. With my faculties in check, I feel comfortable returning to the encampment. I must notify them what has happened. As I relay the information, a brooding air set across the camp. If Geed could be a spy, who else that they rescued could be hiding in the shadows, sending messages in the dark and sowing discontent about the light? It was something I do not believe these people will recover from easily. I call Jamali over. I do not want to alarm the rest of the camp of my new condition, or how far off the path I've fallen due to trusting Geed. I show Jamali and his face never changes. He places his arm on my shoulder, that comfort washing over me. If it comes to it, my friend, I will be the one to stop you. He says it so matter of fact, and those eyes burning into me. He is the only true friend I have, the only person I can trust. Together, we will fix this, and defeat the foes that invade this land. There was only one way to move forwards. Confront Andariel, and slay the greater demon, freeing this place from her influence, giving these folks a chance to recover. In the depths of the monastery we delve, the very catacombs beneath the earth, the perfect lair for the Queen of Decay. The forces of evil stand no chance in our wake. Me and Jamali clear through the hordes like a righteous vengeance. I am always looking over my shoulder at Jamali. Can he see the demonic flow in me, the desire I get from death, the horrid stench of my being? Is it but the Nephilim blood in my veins and the strength of my will that holds this feeling at bay? I just want to scream and tear apart everything, destroy it all, leave nothing but blood and bodies to show my might to these petty fools. And another level deeper, I've lost count of time and space. All that matters is the slaughter. Jamali's voice calls over the din of blood pounding in my ears. He points towards the end of the room. A figure stands just before the stairs. It's Geed, a smirk on his lips. No remorse, no kindness, but not hatred either. Just simply being. A slight set of curiosity, perhaps. I call out to him and rush him, my blades inches from his face, my hand around his throat. I shove him against the wall. I stare into his eyes, true fear in them now. I whisper into his ear, I will let Kasha deal with you. I open a portal to town and throw him through it. Whatever happens now is out of my hands. I curse upon him a long life for him to regret what he has done. I take a shaking breath. I could not kill a human. That would be a step towards hell I could not recover from. Molly is noticeably relieved. A nod to me says it all. Shaking my head and pressing all thoughts other than killing Andariel from my mind. Now is not the time for thought, only action. Such a mighty foe, it pleases me to have my strength tested. Blow for blow, strike for strike, poison for poison. I press her back, then I falter. A quick reset maneuver for my footing, and a reposition to strike from a new angle. Her defenses are solid, her form looming over me. Shoulder spikes striking as our claws rake for my heart. I block and counter, but she parries, and then I step back, breathing hard. I knew this would not be easy. I knew this would be a fight for the ages, but I'm losing ground. Jamali is struggling as well. I can see it on his face. He's wounded. I throw him more potions. I'm in a defensive stance, holding my own as Jamali repositions. I press forwards, ignoring the risks, and strike inside her range. Andariel roars as my blades strike flesh, pressing deep into her. Her eyes stare at me and a smile comes across her lips. She grabs my hand and shoves it deeper, holds a demonic moan from her throat. She tosses me to the wind. I stumble, rolling across the floor, cough up blood, my heart pounding. My arms and legs barely moving, my vision is dimming. Then a repulsive energy from nowhere. A feeling of madness, a feeling of pure hatred. I cannot be defeated by this bitch. I pull one leg in and press one arm to the ground, struggling to my feet. My vision red with rage as I charge towards her. Jamali blocks her counter and I thrust blades in, a flurry of slashing, building all of my charges. Then a series of thunderous kicks, knocking Andariel to her knees, her arms folded in front of her defensively, trying to block the kicks. The sound of shattering bone and tearing flesh as her arms explode under the force of my boots. Her howl turns my heart to ice, but my muscles carry on their mindless assault. As my eyes begin to clear, my breath ragged, my muscles burning, my legs shaking as I could barely stand. But in my hand, my blade piercing through the top of her head, her dying eyes still fighting as the light faded from them. My rage and anger still burning deep, control returning to my mind. I almost choked on tears as I thrust the head to the floor. What had I been doing? I looked to Jamali. His face once again said it all. I was becoming the very demon I was meant to destroy. A voice calling from my very blood pulls me into darkness. Visions of a lost time before the evils of hell broke through Sanctuary, when there was peace in the land. There was a man in a town with a crown, his son and daughter playing and laughing, and darkness like an eclipse, the burning and the death and the horror. The son mad, the father dead, the daughter missing. Then a woman. My mother? A baby. An angel. I cry out and rise from my bed. Jamali is standing over me, a dangerous look on his face. But it begins to smooth as he sees me calming and smile. I tell him not to worry. It was but a nightmare. He helps me up, and I look around. The camp seems to be back to normal. The forces of hell in this part of the land have lost their leader. Scattered and scared, they flee and hide. The sisters can rebuild this land into something good, something worth fighting for. Jamali tells me that Warev is prepared to take his caravan to the east if we wish to follow, towards the desert and the jewel city of Lut Golain. With the marshes and plains behind us, the green turns to brown and then gold sands. Into the desert and the unknown we travel. The destiny we will create unfolding before us. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to the end. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed today's story. We're taking a slight twist on the road through Nightmare. Will Jilbuma succumb to evil and become a vessel for a prime evil? What secrets of hell's weapon will they discover? The power of the Ebonheart is within reach. Can the high heavens stop the creation of these new stones? Or does hell already have the weapons it needs to finally defeat the angels? Tune in next time as Jilbuma and Jamali take on the very sands of time. Until then, take care of Sanctuary and yourselves.